You know, I don't know what surprises me more, the fact that I actually decided to finish this goddamn project after all these years, or the fact that my Gaiden save file is still intact. I guess this is why saving everything I do on an external hard drive is one of my few good habits in life. Anyway, it's finally time to embark on the final act of Fire Emblem Gaiden. We've just killed Rudolph, and now everyone is hailing us as the new king of Rigel. The only thing standing in our way now is the final dungeon. But let me tell you guys, if you think you know what's coming just because you've played Echoes, then let me inform you that you have no clue. The finale of Gaiden is nothing like the finale of Echoes. They're not even close. Gaiden is far worse and far more tedious. After I'm done walking around picking my nose, it's time to head over to this guy who informs us that this is the final dungeon. Once we go down here, we won't return. We only get to bring 10 people for this final act, so it's time to select the best units and ensure that they have the most optimal equipment. In the end, I decided to go with Alm, Silk, Tatiana, Delthea, Cliff, Gray, Lucas, Claire, Myson, and Seek. Speaking of Myson, he's the final playable unit to join our team, so let's check out this old man. Myson is this game's Godot archetype, a unit given to the player to ensure they can tackle the endgame even if they've messed up and have lost a lot of units. While Myson's growth rates are practically non-existent, his bases are actually quite insane. With 22 strength and 18 defense, not to mention 8 resistance, which is quite a rarity, he can tank most enemies in the late game without any issues at all. His speed might be a little mediocre, so don't expect him to double, but if he hits, he will actually inflict a considerable amount of damage, so I'll actually bring him for the final stretch just to see what he can do. Anyway, with preparations concluded, we embark into Dumas Dungeon. This is a maze of puzzles and riddles designed to waste your time. As you move throughout this dungeon, Celica's party will have their units randomly taking damage, effectively meaning you're on a timer. The more you move around the dungeon, the more damage they will take for the final battle, and if you take too long, they might even die. The first puzzle you encounter in this dungeon is this pitfall trap, where you have to figure out where to fall down. If you choose the wrong hatch, it will drop you all the way to the bottom of the dungeon and you'll have to walk up again, all while Celica's party is taking increasing damage. It's actually pretty stressful. Furthermore, there's lots of dead ends and pointless rooms in this dungeon designed to slow you down. All this combines to create a truly horrible experience. But of course, we're not done. There's also several random encounters which can be randomly unlocked depending on your path through this hellscape of a dungeon. The first one I unlock is this battle against a bunch of dread fighters, barons, and witches, with the gimmick being that the lava is slowly covering the entire room, forcing me forward. While the tanky barons and teleporting witches are annoying, there's not a single enemy in this game worse than the endgame dread fighters. Their stats are through the roof. They double everything in my party, they have loads of crits, and they take half damage from all magic. Not to mention they're insanely hard to hit. Each generic dread fighter you face in this dungeon is like fighting a mini-boss. They can very easily mess up your mages, and I do have a pretty magic-heavy party for reasons I'll go into later. The witches would be scary if they actually ganged up on your units, but I think there's some kind of hidden mechanic in place to prevent too many of them from teleporting during the same turn. I actually think I read somewhere that their behavior is rather RNG based, and that they're actually coded not to do this, as it would make the game too difficult. Luckily, they die very easily, and while the barons are immune to physical damage, they get absolutely wrecked by Seraphim, so they're not hard to defeat at all. The lava creeps up on me, but it's not like standing in it is very dangerous, as it only deals 5 HP of damage at the start of the turn, so I can pretty much ignore it. There are some close calls with dread fighters almost killing my mages, but once I deal with them, the rest of the enemies fall very easily, making this a rather trivial encounter. After the battle, we can further explore the dungeon. At some point, we will arrive at this particular doorstep. This is the entrance to Alm's challenge, and this is something he needs to go through to obtain the Falchion. Here, he's locked in alone with a bunch of monsters he needs to defeat to prove himself worthy. This sounds scary, but then again, I have to remind you that I have the most blessed Alm in existence. So, to say it in simple terms,
I'm not locked in here with you. That's it! You're locked in here with me!
The first wave of the challenge is a bunch of white supremacists, who all get mercilessly slaughtered by Alm and his big, massive silver bow. This is honestly kinda hard to watch. There's no way these poor skeletons stand any chance as they run headfirst into the Regalian meat grinder. At some point the walls come down, but this is bad news for the whites, as this means Alm can just kill them faster. One by one they fall until there's nothing but bone marrow left, and Alm strolls happily on to the next part of the challenge. The second part of the challenge consists of Alm taking on Death Goyles, and the gimmick here is that the heal tiles move around. However, there is one small problem. You know what Death Goyles are? Flyers. You know what flyers are weak to? Bows. And you know what weapon Alm has equipped? A silver bow. Another horrendous massacre ensues as Alm turns these Death Goyles into Dead Goyles, and uses their claws as a toothpick before wandering off to the next challenge. Third and final challenge, 2 entire zombie dragons.
Oh no! Anyway.
And just like that, we obtained the Falchion, the final legendary sword. It's nowhere near as good as the silver bow, but it's needed to damage the final boss. Actually, there is another way to kill it, but that's way too tedious for me, so let's equip this bad boy and continue onwards. On my way back to the top, I actually uncover a hidden passage, which I wasn't aware of, and this leads me to a secret room with a chest that contains the Gradavis. And unlike the Falchion, this is probably one of the best weapons in the game. 15 might, 100% hit, 1 to 2 range, 0 weight. Oh yeah, baby! I give this to Old Man Myson because my other Gold Knights are already pretty strong, and with this, he will be able to keep up with them in terms of damage. Now, it's time to head back to the Fall Puzzle, and this time I'm able to access a new floor, which means another new encounter. This particular fight is one of the weirder ones in this dungeon. It doesn't really have a specific gimmick, it just takes a very long time to beat because you have to wait for the enemy to walk around the walls in a roundabout way to reach you. You still have to fight Dread Fighters, which are always a pain, but aside from that, this encounter doesn't really feel that special. At least not until the end, where the Cantor starts shitting out zombie dragons uncontrollably. I mean, look at this shit. He can summon 8 zombie dragons per turn. This is just stupid. Luckily, I have access to the Deer spell, which removes all summoned creatures from the map. While this deprives me of some experience, most of my guys are starting to cap out at this point, so I don't really consider it a waste. This allows me to send my Gold Knights over to murder the Cantor before he can cover the map in zombie dragons. I continue my trek through the dungeon and encounter yet another fall puzzle. It's essentially the same as the first one. Pick the wrong spot and fall all the way to the bottom. I take a lucky guess and get it right on my first try, which leads me to the third and final random encounter of this dungeon, and by far the most tedious one. It starts out really simple. A bunch of Dread Fighters will use a teleportation tile to attack your units from behind, which can really catch you by surprise if you're not prepared for it. For many turns, you can't really do anything about this, you just have to wait for the enemy to come to you. However, the real test begins when the floodgate opens. Inside the closed-off starting area is a Biggle. They are those creepy eye monsters that you've seen before. As time goes on, the Biggles will start to multiply, and most of the time you kill them before this becomes an issue. However, this Biggle has had several turns to multiply itself, and oh boy, once these start to reach a critical mass, they just won't stop. I mean, look at this shit, they're spreading faster than I can kill them, it's like a disease out of control. I even bring up the monster slaying Claire, who can easily one-round them due to her Slayer skill, but it is simply not enough. The eyes just keep multiplying and multiplying and multiplying. Allow me to speed up the footage to show you just how long I spent trying to clear this chapter. Overall, it took me 1 hour of real time to fight my way through all these freaking Biggles! I actually think I might not be able to do this, but slowly and surely I'm starting to make some kind of progress and the Biggles numbers start to dwindle. This is easily one of the scariest encounters I've ever seen in Gaiden. I can see many players getting soft-locked on this battle alone due to not being able to clear the Biggles fast enough. If you allow them to get to a certain number, I imagine this fight just becomes impossible. I wonder if there's an enemy cap in this game. What happens if you just let the Biggles multiply endlessly? Would be kinda interesting to check, but I ain't got time for that shit. If anyone knows, let me know in the comments section. Anyway, let's continue. At long lasts, I make my way through the final part of the dungeon, and now only a single fight stands in my way. The last one. The major showdown against the dark god Doma. It's time for the Twilight of the Gods. For the first time since the start of the game, both armies, Alm and Celica's, come together to fight the final boss. And what a final boss it is. Here he is, Doma the Evil God. His stats are incredibly scary, and he has 182 hit points. When you view him, it says he can't use magic, but this isn't strictly speaking true. Doma has many different attacks that he can unleash on you. A melee tentacle attack, which deals a lot of damage, a ranged eye beam attack, which does magic damage, and also another ranged magic attack called Eyeball, which is weaker, but a lot more accurate. Doma also knows the Mega Quake spell, which is extremely rarely used in Gaiden, but I did actually already see it once in the one other part of the game where it can occur. Mega Quake is a huge area of effect attack that affects all playable units on the map, dealing a random amount of damage between 0 to 20 plus 10 minus half the target's luck. And this always occurs at the start of an enemy phase, so it's really dangerous when it happens. Doma also regenerates hit points passively every turn, and this regeneration seems to speed up the more damage he takes. He also cannot be damaged below 52 hit points unless you use the Falchion. Or the Nosferatu spell for whatever reason? Not sure if this is a coding error or just the developers giving you an alternate way to kill him in case you didn't get the Falchion or forgot to equip it. I'm not sure which it is. Either way, Alm's your best bet at fighting Doma. But first, we have to get to him, and that's the tricky part because this map is packed with strong enemies. Below Duma is the High Priest Judah, who will periodically summon Biggles. He can only be damaged on turns 4, 8, 12, etc., but he no longer has his Draco Shield, making him much easier to kill compared to last time. Instead, he comes equipped with a Magic Ring, meaning he can cast his powerful Death spell at 5 range. You don't need to kill Judah to beat this map, you can bypass him, but leaving him alive is scary because you know how dangerous Biggles can be when they reach a critical mass. Every single non-monster enemy on this map is also a named mini-boss with higher stats than normal. They're not super scary, but you can't completely disregard them either. Before I embark on this final battle, I want to show you guys my final team and offer some quick thoughts on how useful I found them. Alm is the most broken unit in my squad and probably one of the strongest main characters of any Fire Emblem game. Silk has been one of the more useful support units on my team due to her ability to heal and warp units. I love this girl. Myson is an impressive Godo that is serviceable in the final act of the game. He doesn't really grow much, but his bases carry him all the way to the final part of the game. Can absolutely recommend him. Despite his bad luck and speed, Gray has been an alright villager. I don't think the Bow Knight promotion was necessarily the best way for him to go, but he's decent due to his amazing strength. Delphia has been utterly ridiculous in this playthrough. Her ability to just delete enemies with Ragnarok has been extremely useful. I mean, this girl literally nuked Rudolph out of existence. Cliff has easily been one of the best villagers on my team, and I think the Gold Knight promotion was a good way for him to go. Solid stats all around, great unit. Seek is probably one of the most busted units in the game. He joins strong and just gets stronger the more experience you feed him. Here he has 40 speed because I gave him the speed ring. Lucas fell off a little bit for me in the endgame due to his low skill and speed, but he's still been an overall great tank. Claire has been the absolute MVP for me on Alm's side. Her stats are through the roof, and Falcon Knights are absolutely busted due to their Slayer skill. She one-runs pretty much any monster she goes up against. Best girl, 10 out of 10. Tatiana may not look that great stat-wise, but I have just one word. Fortify. It's the most broken spell in the game. On turn 1, I can pretty much negate all the damage Celica's side has taken throughout this entire dungeon. And then we move over to Celica's party, starting with Leon, who just turned out garbage for me. I mean, 10 speed, really? He can't double shit. And then we have Celica. Oh boy, she sucks in this game. Her power stinks, and while her speed is usually good enough to double, she's so damn frail. She can't take any hits before dying, and if you lose her, it forces a restart, making her a complete liability. It is worth noting though that she has a support with Alm, which is only accessible on this map, which gives both of them a 100% chance to crit when they're adjacent to one another. This is really broken, especially for Alm, and very useful when going up against the final boss, though it does require you to put Celica in danger. Jenny has been a useful support unit throughout the game. While she's nowhere near Silk's level as she lacks Warp, she has still been very decent with her Physic and Seraphim spells. Saber has been the absolute MVP on Celica's side. A good tanky unit with great damage output. He's good in the early game, better in the mid game, and broken in the late game. Saber finishes with style. Wait, what's this girl doing here? Why is she not in her jail cell? Not as good as Claire, but Katria still breaks the game with her Slayer skill. Man, between the three sisters, Paula really got shafted. But that doesn't matter, I still want to use her thigh as pillows. Atlas is freaking garbage, what the hell, man? May is freaking garbage, what the hell, man? Bowie is freaking garbage, what the hell, man? Yeah, Celica's team kinda sucks. Luckily, we have the Falcon Knights carrying. Anyway, it's time to get started on this map. There's lots of Biggles, and if you know anything about Biggles, you gotta kill them before they create more Biggles. I let my Falcon Knights take the front while my mages unleash their Seraphim spells. Meanwhile, over on Alm's side, I have this entire party charge east to join up with Celica as quickly as possible, leaving one of my strongest units behind to deal with the 3 mini-bosses to ensure they don't sandwich me. The guy I choose for this job is Seek, and he will really have his durability put to the test against these guys, let me tell you that. It doesn't take me long to link up my 2 armies and start pushing through the final hallway where Judah is waiting for me. Not gonna lie, these enemies are pretty tough, and even though I got some broken-ass units, they're proving very hard to defeat. Judah himself is no slouch. His spells hit hard when they do hit, and his defenses are through the roof. Furthermore, I'm not sure if there's a way to check your turn count in Gaiden aside from just memorizing it, so I try attacking him only to find out that it's definitely not turn 4. Despite the tough enemies, I am starting to make some progress when suddenly out of nowhere, Doma decides to activate Mega Quake, which leaves Celica on low health, allowing the Bow Knight mini-boss to pick her off.
Got him!
Well, that's frustrating. I suppose I'll just restart the battle and,
Got him!
Alright, screw this. Clearly it was a mistake to try and use any other unit than Alm in this game. This time around, I'm just gonna warp him straight up to Doma and kick the god's butt. Wait, he activated Mega Quake again? Are you serious? And then Alm just gets nuked down? What the hell? This is insane. This fight is much harder in Gaiden than it was in Echoes. This is completely unacceptable. It seems like I'm at a crossroads here. I can either try to devise a proper strategy to defeat Doma, or I could just warp Alm in again and pray that Mega Quake doesn't happen this time, and just try to use my bow to kill all the minions around Doma. Yeah, you know what? Let's try that. I think it might work this time around.
Don't worry, Celica, I'll crush these bastards.
Alright, looks like it actually did work. Now it's just gonna come down to a showdown between Alm and the Dark God.
I don't like where this is going.
Nope.
Heroes never die. motherfucker right in the pussy.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Alm just single-handedly destroyed a god. You guys think Sigurd is strong? You think Ike is strong? These guys have nothing on Gaiden Alm. This guy is a freaking monster. Anyway, Doma tells us that we can never again repeat these events. Oh, trust me, dude, I will never play Gaiden again, I can promise you that. Thus, the war ended. Many have died, but now Valentia sees peace. Why did this war occur? No one knows. Yeah, I don't know either. All I know is I'm happy to have finally beaten this game. And so, this massive project finally comes to a close. When I started this series back in 2017, I had no idea that the final episode would come out in 2023. But I'm glad you guys pestered me enough to the point where I actually completed it, because at least we have some closure now. You know, going back and watching the first few episodes of this series made me feel a lot of weird emotions. Back in 2017, I was still a relatively new YouTuber. I mean, I'd been around for a while even then, but I was only really starting my serious journey into being a full-timer. Back then, I was a very different person, and going back to watch some of my older content from those days is not easy. I wish I could have had a conversation with my younger self and given some advice based on my experiences now. A lot has happened since those early days where I lived inside this shitty little apartment in Oslo. Some of it good, some of it bad. But I want to say something. If you watching right now are one of those people who were around during those days when the first episode of Gaiden Abridged came out and you're still here now, over 6 years later, then I would love to see a comment from you in the comment section and just say, thank you for sticking around. It means a lot to me that you're still here. And if you are a new subscriber who just clicked on this video and you're like, what the fuck is Gaiden Abridged, Mangs? Then, I don't know, click the playlist and watch the whole series from the beginning, I guess. Just a slight warning, the humor is a little bit more edgy than you might be used to. 2017 YouTube was a bit of a different place, and I was a bit of a different guy. But I think some of it has held up by today's standards, hopefully. Anyway, I think this is the end, guys. Thank you for watching this final episode of Gaiden Abridged. My name has been Mangs, and I'll see you next time.